members that are present.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming on a Sunday morning, I appreciate it. My name is Lachman. I'm the writer, EP, and cast member in the book of Ruth. I would love to answer questions if you have any.
What was your role in that film?
I was the writer, executive producer, and a cast member.
What inspired the story?
Okay, so the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, people don't really realize that, but they keep releasing studies every few years or so. And back in 2015, they released a study that basically explained that Anne died in a different date than people actually assumed. It wasn't a huge difference. People thought she died in March, she died in February. The way it came about is because there were actually new eyewitnesses who described the stage of her disease and said it was more, they realized by the physical description that it was more progressed than it actually was. And some media outlets reported on it, and there was one media outlet that made a tiny grammatical error that changed the whole meaning of the sentence. I think they forgot either a period or a comma, and it basically made it sound like we don't know what happened to her. Like the sentence made it sound like her fate was vague. Unfortunately, we know that's not the case, but I saw that and I was like, oh, wait a second. Like, let's say she was alive. Under what circumstances, what would be her reasoning to not share with the world the fact that she's alive? What kind of person she'll be today? Where in the world will she be today? Will she have a family? So that's pretty much how it started and went from there.
Yeah, nice message.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Photography. Wonderful.
Yeah, we had my director Becca Roth, my producer Caitlin Gold. We had DP Natalia Bugadelis, who was amazing. We had an incredible location, only maybe 20 minutes away from New York City, in a beautiful secluded house that sits on a creek. So we got really lucky. My only regret is probably that we don't see more of the house in the movie because it was, yeah, but honestly, yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Have you done other films?
Not in this capacity. That's my first one that I will actually count as, working on it, but not just yet. So hopefully get to be back here with more.
Have you shown this at other film festivals?
Yeah, we got accepted so far to a total of 27, and we've actually been last month at Cinequest. We almost qualified for the Academy Awards. Almost makes a huge difference. By the way, I will share with our colleagues. Feeling Through, the movie with the deaf and blind actor, is actually tonight nominated for the Academy Awards.
Oh.
So you got to see, yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely, it's a wonderful film. So we'll cross fingers for them. We got to screen in a few different festivals with them. They always win, obviously, but no hard feelings. Yeah, but absolutely, we're headed to the Jewish Film Festival of Washington, D.C. next month, the Nevada Film Festival for Women, Phoenix Film Festival in August, and in July we are at Queen's World in New York, which is great because it's really close to home. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming.
We take it behind the scenes, like when did you shoot? How long was the production? How was the editing?
Sure. So I worked on these 14 minutes for 5 years. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Unsurprisingly, the main issue was money, as per usual. But yeah, so I wrote this. It's interesting. That article came out right around Passover 2015. So that actually really aligned when I was trying to see how to bring that news story into the actual story. That ended up being perfect timing. So I wrote the script relatively shortly after that. I think it was about August 2015 that I wrote it. I just tried to pitch it to people. Tova Felchu, our lead actress, who's a Tony and Emmy Award nominee, she joined pretty early on, or I guess there was a show of interest. We reached out to her, she liked the script, we kept in touch on and off for 5 years. We've done a live reading about a year before we shot it. We've done a live reading at the Manhattan JCC, which was really interesting because the live reading is a completely different format. So we actually had like a theater director come in and, you know, stage it as a stage production. So it kept changing with the cast. We had a little bit of a different cast for the live reading. Monica White, who plays my mom in the movie, actually stayed from the live reading, but that was one opportunity to workshop the script. And then when we actually shot the movie about a year later, that was another opportunity to workshop. A new cast brings like a whole new dynamic. We kept making rewrites to the day. We were making them on set. I think people would say that it's very common, you know? So yeah, that was pretty much the process. We ended up doing a crowdfunding campaign through Seed and Spark. So that movie really would not be possible without friends and family and people who, for one reason or another along the way, were like, okay, we want to support this. So I think a lot of people will tell you cannot make a film on your own. It's just not possible. So I hope that answers your question somewhat. And that's about it.
So what prepared you for doing this work? Just learning?
What prepared me, or in what sense?
Well, learning how for the writing and having a vision to carry it forward into the visual.
It's interesting. I always knew that I kind of wanted to shoot it in that sort of house. But yeah, I think it really finally took life of its own when more people joined the team. You work alone for so long and all of a sudden more people come in with their own vision and you kind of try to pace it all together. I think we're very lucky that for the most part we were on the same page with a lot of stuff. I was also in charge of locations. Again, the world of indie means that you just do everything. This is a house that we find through Airbnb, actually. And we wanted something close to New York, and we looked at the photos when we were trying to find a place. We're like, can we get a body of water in there? It was really important because for Anne Frank as well, nature was her solace. Like she describes it numerous times in her diary. We wanted that place where it would be like a sanctuary to her. And we also wanted a house that would feel really cozy and would have a lot of history. And when we got there, we just knew. Like Becca, the director, I remember her coming to me saying, "This is it. It's ready to go as is." So many small trinkets and stuff that were around. And again, I wish you could have seen more of it. It was beautiful. But I think, kind of like when you cast, when you find the people you know. I think the location was also that. So the moment we had a cast, and then we had a location, and then we could imagine that cast in that location, it really helped to like bring it all together and feel just very right. So that's pretty much it. Yep.
So is New York area, New York City, your home turf?
Yes, it is in the last 11 years. Yeah, and Israel before that. Yeah.
And we have family members that live in New York City and are Jewish and lived for a couple of years in Israel.
Well, tell them about this. Maybe they like it. Hopefully they like it.
Well, how would they get a chance to view this?
Good question. Our website is www.theBookofRuthFilm.com, and at the very least, my email is there. So
You have a card out here? Or?
I have a card. I can give you a card if you want. I'll do it right now. Sure. Or you can. I have plenty. You can take it. That's totally fine. Thank you. Yeah.
You were excellent as a cast member. Do you prefer acting over this, or?
Oh goodness. I moved to New York in Israel you pick majors in high school. I was a film and TV major in high school. And then I did my mandatory army service, and then I moved to New York to study musical theater. So I think after I graduated, I was like, when I was a film and TV major, my specialty was writing, editing, and producing. So I'd say that behind the scenes writing was always my greatest passion. But there's a part of me who likes acting like a little bit more. So I guess if you'll ask me if I have to choose one for the rest of my life, it would probably be acting. But the opportunity to combine is definitely something that I feel very lucky that I can do. So yeah, thank you. All
How
right.
long did you live in Israel?
Oh, my whole life. I moved 11. Like I born and raised in Israel, moved to New York at 23 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
2 years ago.
11 years ago. Yes. Yes. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.